Namaste everyone, my name is Sushmita and I'm your Guru Yogi. In today's class, we will be going through a sequence for gaining flexibility and understand that flexibility is not something we must gain, but rather it's a state. And removing all the layers of resistance will allow us to really stay in this state and observe the sensations, which is step 1 of the process, and then accept the feeling by breathing deep into it. Lastly, we will understand how to be completely present with whatever is going on in the body, understanding our own limitations of our body, and being detached from this sense of wanting to gain flexibility, wanting to reach that final state. Through this 3-step process, we will learn that the asana and the breath are just vehicles or sort of like portals to understand the body deeper and gain this sense of flexibility, both in the body and in the mind. So if you guys are as excited as I am, I invite you just to take a moment to close the eyes, soften the breath down, root down through the earth and tall through the spine, taking deep breaths in and out through the nostrils only. In today's class, we're going to begin just by starting in Shavasana, so you can come with your feet stretched out on the mat and your hands just by the sides of the body, laying down, remaining completely relaxed. Try and see if you can soften the eyes, soften the face, and soften each part of the body before we start. Just taking a couple of seconds here to settle into the body, breathing deep. From here, we're just going to take the right foot in, grab the right knee with both the arms, and just hug the knee in towards the chest, flexing that left foot, and keep drawing that palm closer, drawing the knee closer in towards the chest. In and out through the nose. And try and make the belly really soft here. Is there a way you can soften the belly and send the breath into the lower part of the belly? Slowly and gently, just placing both the arms down by the sides of the mat, evenly distributing the weight across the shoulder blades, keeping this knee nice and flexed. We're going to extend just halfway and keeping it generously bent, and then back in. One more time. Halfway and then back in once again. This time we're going to go a little bit further than halfway, but not to your full extension. And observe the body, observe the spine. See if you can reorient your body in any way, making small adjustments with the other feet. And then bend it back in. And then slowly extend now to wherever feels comfortable, like your edge. The edge of your comfort zone. Maybe you flex that top foot and extend it. One more time, flexing towards your head and extending it up. As you flex and extend, I want you to observe and keep this breath going. Deep breath in through the mouth, long breath out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the mouth, long breath out through the mouth. Flex and extend. And slightly, ever so slightly, try and bring and shift that foot towards your other leg. You're still bending and flexing. You're just reorienting that leg to make it feel as comfortable as possible. Keep bending and flexing just for a few more breaths here as you breathe deep into the belly. Beautiful.
And then on the next exhale, we're going to point that toe, engaging the whole psoas line from the heel all the way to the hip. And I'm going to ever so slowly try and lower it down to 60 degrees. Keeping this control, watch the core and stay here and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to lower slowly down to about 30 degrees. And keep that core control. It's okay if your lower back is slightly coming up, but just try not to arch it too much. Keep staying, keep breathing. And then slowly, even little lower to maybe 15 degrees if that feels good. Just for a few seconds, try and elongate. You want to stretch the muscle out of its socket. Really think like the toes are extending towards the other wall. And then when you feel okay, you can slowly drop that foot down and observe. Observe if one feels a little bit longer than the other. It feels a little bit more stretched. And this is all there is to it. As you slowly bend the left knee in towards the chest, let's grab the left knee with both the hands. Grab it over, and without clasping or controlling, just allowing the knee to fall towards the chest, or maybe even the shoulder, trying to get new ranges of motion. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Hands come down. Slowly extend that leg up. But only halfway, we're not going to go all the way. Just warming up the leg. Bending and flexing a couple of times. Very nice. And only making micro movements until you finally reach your desired state of flexibility. And if you go too fast, you won't be able to observe how your lower back makes contact with the floor or not. And so reorient your shoulders and your other leg, so it makes it as comfortable and as easy as possible to create this sense of flexibility, the state of flexibility. Flex the foot and bend it towards you. Keep going. You want to get at least 10 to 15 reps of this. Keep bending. Last couple of times. Really dissolving the mind in the repetition of the movements. And when you feel ready, we're just going to point the toes towards the ceiling. Engage the whole psoas line. Observe if you can really push down with the other leg and lift up through the socket. So it's almost like my toes are being pulled out of my hip socket. And that means that automatically the part just above the knee gets engaged. Stay. And then ever so slowly we're going to move it down to about 60 degrees. And reorient your leg so that it's slightly internally rotated towards the other leg. And breathe. Reactivate that breath with the mouth. Excellent. And then slowly coming down, we're going to go just to about 30 degrees. You're doing really well. Keep it super steady with the shoulders. And once again, activate the breath and meditate on the muscle in your upper thigh. I know it hurts. Last breath. And then slowly lower to 15. Don't give up. And now is the time to re-engage even more. Last 2 breaths. And then last breath, completely release on the next exhale. And notice how the body feels. You can shake out the hips, shake out the legs. And now feel if it feels like your legs have just grown a little bit taller or a little bit longer. Beautiful. We're going to do this with the same thing, but with the upper body now. So I invite you just to bring your hands a little bit over your head. The palms facing up and the shoulder blades are comfortably on the floor. So try and relax the back of the shoulder blades down onto the mat and relax the face as well. We're going to bring the hands down by the sides of the body and then slowly just lift them back up. Just a couple of times just to get used to marrying the breath with the motion. As you exhale, you'll bring the hands down. And as you inhale, you'll take the arms up. Exhaling down. Inhale, take the arms up. Last time, exhaling down. Inhaling, take the arms up. And now we're going to take the feet as well. So you're going to bend the knees in towards the chest. And exhale, release the feet, release the hands. Let's try that one more time. Bend the knees in towards the chest. Lift the hands up. Exhaling, release the feet down. Hands down. Let's go once more. Try and coordinate the movement with the breath. And try and make it as fluid as possible. You can go faster or slower. Just depending on where your body is today, observe your core. And the last 3 times. Whenever you feel done, you can stretch the legs out, stretch the hands out. And just bring your feet by walking your feet very gently towards the hips with the knees facing up. The hands are still down. We're going to try and grab the ankles if that feels possible. So just trying to grab the ankles by the sides. Slowly push the heels down, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower down with control. One more time. Lift the hip points up, send the chest up. Observe the sternum. And as you exhale, lower back, middle back, upper back. With awareness, lift the hip points up, mindfully pushing through the heels. Exhaling down, lower back, middle back, and upper back. Last time. Squeeze the butt on top. Stable through the shoulder blades. As you slowly come down, hug the knees in towards the chest and give your body a nice big rock, maybe a couple of times, warming up the spine. And rock all the way up to seated. You can extend the legs out in front of you, stretching them out in front. And we're going to do some forward folds and some side stretches with just the feet in front to practice this hamstring flexibility. So you can bend any knee in towards the other foot. So I'm trying to here, for me, this is my left foot placing against my right. But wherever you are today in your practice, just try and make sure you remove your flesh from your sit bone. So you're sitting nice and rooted and you're nice and tall with your torso facing the front leg. Now, as you do this, I want you to flex the front foot and orient your body towards the front foot. Let's try and reach with the hands till wherever feels comfortable and just hold on a little bit behind our edge of our comfort zone. So one more time, your knee can go a little bit further back. So then you're really pushing your pelvis forward and down. Instead of allowing your pelvis to collapse, I want you to push your pelvis also forward and towards that front leg. Lifting up through the chest, flexing that foot, lengthen through the spine, and stay long with the spine. And the lower back is nice and flat, a little bit more flat if possible. And we're going to do the same thing, breathing deep for 8 rounds of breath. Inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, fully in, and hold the breath on top, and meditate on the muscle just in the upper thigh. Put all your focus just on the muscle in the upper thigh, and imagine as if the blood was like a dam, stopping the blood flow and concentrating on the muscle. Stay here and breathe. Just stay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, try and go a little bit lower till wherever feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in and a long breath outside out. Let it go. Releasing the spine down, relaxing the top of the head down, and observe just the part between the neck and the shoulder blades, and see if you can create some space in the upper body. You should feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings because we've been holding the blood for a long time here. When you release, you come out very, very slowly, lifting the hands up. And it's normal to feel tingling sensations in your feet. You can flex your feet, shake it out a bit. And then exhale, release. We're going to stretch the other foot out. Bend the right knee in, or whichever you haven't done yet. Move the sit bones out and get comfortable. And once again, orienting the body towards that left foot, lengthening through the spine, and keeping in mind the sense of flexibility. The minute we stop and we focus on the muscle here, what's happening is that it's like two parts being squeezed. When we stay here and retain the breath, we want to really focus on that muscle. So when we release, the blood flow naturally occurs. When there's more blood flow, there's an increase in flexibility. So there's no resistance. So what we're trying to do on a mental level is we're trying to remove those layers of resistance between us and trying to get to the end point. So if that makes sense, let's just lift the hands up and just try it and experience it for ourselves. Lift the spine up, stretch the arms out. And on the next exhale, just draw the navel in and go towards the edge of your comfort zone, wherever that may be today. Stay here and just get accustomed to it for a few seconds before you start to breathe. And let's start the breath practice. 8 deep breaths. 3, 4, deep into the lower lobes of the lungs, and 5, and 6, and 7. On the next inhale, fully in. Hold the breath and meditate on the muscle just in the upper thigh. Stay here and breathe. You can stay for as long as feels comfortable, and when you feel the urge to breathe, you come up. But I'm going to let you stay here for a while and just explore the sensations. Beautiful. Slowly in, fully in, and just observe how the blood rushes towards the ankle. You can flex and shake the foot out. Extend both feet out now. Shake them both out. And we're going to put it together with a forward fold of the Pashima Tanasana. And see how it feels with both the legs together. Same technique, same breath. Stretch the arms up. Lift through the spine. Exhaling, folding forward over that front leg. Grab wherever feels comfortable. And on the next exhale, maybe you even grab by the sides of the feet and push. Like you're just grabbing by the sides of the feet and you're pushing your big toe down and you're pulling with your arms. So this way you feel nice and stable. When you reach your edge of your comfort zone, you're going to start to take those 8 deep breaths and give it your all, your full focus, your full presence, without attachment or desire to get anywhere more than you are right here in the body. Let's start. Last time. And stop. Release the gripping with the hands and just stay without the urge to breathe. Meditate on the muscles just along the lower side of your legs. Keep staying. Keep staying for as long as you feel it's comfortable. Just pushing yourself a little bit more than you can go and breaking free of the story of flexibility. I've reached my limit, so I'm going to take a full breath in. And then bringing the palms just behind you, we're going to do a counter stretch. I'm going to try and get the tops of my feet down onto the mat and send my chest up. This is a good heart opening asana as well. So I want you just to get your shoulder blades out, creating space and broad across the collarbones. Send the feet down, lift the hips up. Head goes back or head can stay neutral depending on how you're feeling today. And just breathe here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming down. Drop the hips down. Drop the knees down. You can bring one foot in and the other foot in. We're going to go into Baddha Konasana or butterfly. With your butterfly, you bring both your feet together. And the technique for flexibility we're going to use to increase the butterfly flexibility is not so much just to keep flapping the feet, because even if your knees don't touch the floor, I want you to imagine 2 encyclopedias under your knees. So each day you're just removing one leaf outside the encyclopedia, and at the end of that, the knees can come down to the floor. But until then, we have these hands that we can use as levers. So I want you just to bring your hands underneath your shins. So it's almost like I'm just taking them underneath and I'm using my elbows to push my inner thighs down. When I push my inner thighs down, I'm going to try and, with the same time, pull with my hands and use my chest to go forward. Now what's happening here is that when I pull with my elbows down, my inner thighs automatically go down. So it's not so much about getting the knees down to the mat as it is about opening up the inner thighs and using my chest to lead the movement. So let's just try this. Taking a deep breath in, sit up nice and tall. And then on the next exhale, use your elbows to really push down with your inner thighs and send the chest forward. Allow the head to rest down. Stay here and breathe. For 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep the breath if that feels good. 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. And last one, slowly and gently coming up. And when you make your way up, we're going to extend the feet out into a nice V. And this again is one of those things which is almost like the basics of flexibility. What we're going to do is rotate the inner thighs down towards the mat and lift the torso up. So let's bring the hands just to the outer thighs and try and push them in as you lift the chest up. Let's try that 2 more times. Bend backwards and then slowly as you go forward, flex the feet, inner thighs come forward. 1 more time and observe how the body is moving on its sit bones. Flex the feet in, inner thighs go out. These are just drills, but they're super effective in getting us to use the inner thighs. Now let's try and do the same thing by pointing the toes. So point the toes, create length, send the chest forward. Exhale, coming back. Point the toes, send the chest forward. Stay here and breathe for 2 seconds. 2, 1, and then coming up. 1 more time. Let's go down, point, and then slowly coming up. Last time, point, And this time when you come here, I want you just to either bring your forearms, or if this feels too hard, you can just bring your hands onto the floor or the mat, keeping the toes nice and pointed. So the toes are nice and pointed. I want you to bring one hand out in front, the other hand behind, and I'm going to lift. Try and lift. If this feels too hard, and if you can't lift, that means your legs are too wide. So make them a little bit closer if they're too wide. And I want you just to shift and sit a little bit forward. Now the reason I'm asking you to do this is so that it orients your pelvis down and you're really sitting completely on your sit bones. Now I can feel both my sit bones rooted down. So when I can feel both my sit bones rooted down, then I can bring my hands down, flex the feet out, and then once again lead with the chest, and maybe even keep the hands down as I move forward. So the reason I'm pressing my inner thighs down with my hands is because I can tell myself that all I need to do is push my thighs, my inner thighs down, and rotate them down towards the floor. And stay here and breathe. 5, I know it's hard. Observe the pain. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up. We're going to try the same thing with a side twist. So the left hand comes onto the right inner thigh, and the right hand reaches up, reach up towards the ceiling, creating length across the side body. And now I'm going to try and move over to the opposite leg. So it's like a side twist, but I'm keeping my body nice and straight. Now again, I'm not going to try and reach to the edge. I'm going to keep the dynamic movement in my upper body and keep breathing. First, become the observer of your breath, of your end range of mobility. Use your other hand as a lever and reorient the body. Accept the discomfort. Stay with the discomfort. Beautiful. And go a little bit more and pause at the edge. Back off a little bit. It shouldn't feel like pain. If you feel the pain, you need to back off. But if you feel this sense of releasing tension, nice. Very nice. Stay here. Maybe take a variation and smile. For 5. Keep orienting your pelvis forward. Keep opening up the chest. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. I know it must be hard. Coming up, reorienting, and the hands go down. We're going to repeat this on the other side. So curl and round the chest. Any organic movement that feels good. And forgetting how the past one side went, because the other side could be completely different. One more time. Let's re-engage with a new sense of enthusiasm. Right hand goes on the left thigh this time. I'm trying to push it down, so I remember that the key is to push it down and lift up with the left arm. And then slowly and gently, I'm going to reach up and keep this dynamic movement in the spine. Not trying to get to the end, not trying to get to the goal, just staying with the process, breathing deep into the lower part of the rib cage and the side body. Three, 2, and then on the last one, you want to find that end range and stop. Wherever that is today. Very nice. Keep pushing with the opposite hand. Keep reaching with the top arm. And explore the sensations, explore what the mind is telling you. Nice. Keep staying. And remove the layers of resistance. See if you can soften the sensations around the side body of tension. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. We've done a lot of work for today. Stretch the arms up. Reach up, reset the spine. Bring the hands behind. Give the body a nice wiggle. And then stretch, bring the chest up. And this time, you want to again feel that sensation of just moving the pelvis forward and lifting the chest up. Send the head back. And now observe if there's a little bit more space in the inner thighs. Keep staying, keep breathing. And then slowly coming up. We're going to do the last pose for today, which is the peak pose of the class, which is the hamstring stretch or the Hanumanasana. Once we've warmed up the whole body, it should be a little bit easier. And then we'll move into Shavasana. So whenever you feel ready, you can come into your downward dog. Just to see if we can put all of these into action. Lift up onto the toes. Exhale down. One more time. Lifting up onto the toes, bend the knees. Exhale down. Lifting up. Exhale down. You're going to lift just the right leg up into your three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Bring the knee in towards the nose. And then drop that foot down. First orient. So let's look up. Drop that left knee down. And really get comfortable. Before we start to straighten that leg, let's see if we can shift the body weight forward and backward and find wherever feels comfortable, forward and backward, and see if it feels much easier than when you've tried this before. You can walk the palms slightly behind now. And before we start to get in, we're going to walk the front foot ever so slightly forward and forward. Like I'm just walking with my toes. I'm walking with my toes and stop. I want you just to squeeze both the inner thighs in and lift up through the chest. Squeezing both the outer thighs in, lifting up through the chest, strong through the arms. Now let's walk a little bit more. Stay here and breathe. Same breaths. So we're going to take only 3 breaths here. On the next inhale, fully in. And then flex that foot and stay. That's it. Push the body weight a little bit back. Lift up through the chest and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on, bend it a little bit. Bend the knee. Send the hips down. And then you're going to once again move with the heel now. Try and move with the heel forward. I'm wiggling. As you can see, I'm wiggling my front foot forward and backward. And this allows my thighs to just orient to the point wherever it feels comfortable. And I'm moving super slowly. And when I find that spot, I'm going to stop. I'm going to draw my left thigh back. You can come onto your fingertips now. Lift broad through the chest. You're doing excellently today. So just keep staying here, keep breathing. Think of just lengthening the left part of the hip. I'm just trying to create space in this left part of the hip. And now we can create more space By slowly using the toes, lift the knee up and walk the back foot back a little bit more. If that is not available today and you're not able to do that, we can stay here but keep orienting the hips towards the front leg and keep sinking the hips a little bit lower and coming up. So sink for 3, 2, 1, lift up and sink. For 3, 2, 1, lift up and sink. For 3, 2, 1, lift up. Last time, 2, 3, and lift it up. Beautiful. Coming back, knowing that you've done everything that you can for today. Getting that knee back, planting the palms, and once again resetting the body. Maybe you take a few cat cows. Just whatever you have to do to forget, let go of the result. Let go of how it's supposed to be. And then we're going to put the left leg forward this time, bending the right knee down. As I do this, I'm going to move forward and backward a couple of times. Now the chest plays a big role here because the more the chest can come forward, the more you can send the body weight forward into the front leg and the less impact it will have on that back knee. So practicing that chest forward, hips low. Nice. And ever so slightly scooching just with my toes as much as feels comfortable. Stop. You can walk it a little bit more. And then deep breaths. In through the mouth, out through the mouth. 4 and 5. Slowly, let's try and just get the heel now. And now walk with the heel. So like we did last time, I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And I'm moving my heels to one side and the other side to move this movement. I'm not trying to get into the final pose. I'm making super small adjustments. And as you can see, my whole leg is moving. My whole thigh is moving. And one foot is always different from the other, so don't judge yourself. And when you feel like it's too much, you can come onto your fingertips, or if you feel more stable, you can walk your hands back a little bit more and send that foot. Keep flexing the foot and keep trying to squeeze the thighs in a little bit more. If it's available, then you walk the back foot now a little bit more. And the way to do this is to come onto your toes, lift your heel up, and then send the knee a little bit back, and then back down. I'll repeat that. So come onto your toes, send your knee a little bit more back, and then drop down. This can feel very uncomfortable for some people. So don't feel afraid. Wherever you are today, lift up. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Lift up for 3, 2, 1. Lower down. In sync into the sensations. 2 and 1. Lift up. 2, 3, and hold. Lower down. A little bit more and go last time. Lift up. 3, 4, and smile. Breathe down and release. Release that left foot down. And today we're just going to take a wide-legged child's pose. Releasing the hips, releasing the hands. Knowing that you've done everything you can. Breathing into the forehead. Send the breath just into one spot in the forehead. Deep belly breaths. As you slowly and gently walk the hands back, bringing the hands just onto the knees. You can sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. Or you can sit in Vajrasana on your knees. We're just going to end with a small breath observation. Understanding that surrender is not a substitute for effort. That flexibility is not something we have to achieve. It's not something we have to gain, but something that's there within each of us. And even though our bodies are different, to come back to this state, remembering the first step is to become an observer, a sakshi. The second is to accept the feeling, to breathe deep into it. And the third is to remain supremely present without any attachment to how the pose is supposed to look, but rather just feeling and appreciating the process. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Sigh it out. Irrigate the body with sound. Let it go. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, completely softening the shoulders, softening the eyes. You can take a few more deep breaths here and stay as long as you like in this meditation. Namaste. Thank you.